Hello everyone, my name is Marcus G. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. The longest sabbatical that Chicago Fire has been on since the COVID production shutdowns has caused it to be absent from primetime with new episodes for a number of months, but the wait is almost over. It is certain that the launch of Season 12 of Fire will be an intense experience due to the fact that One Chicago will be appearing on the television schedule in the not-too-distant future in the year 2024, and there will be no shortage of cliffhangers that need to be resolved. Some of the early photographs from the episode, which is titled Barely Gone, have already been posted by NBC, and they are already working to resolve cliffhangers. Some of them, on the other hand, make me question whether or not the episode can be successful without Jesse Spencer playing the role of Matt Casey. Consequently, in light of the fact that the original One Chicago show is going to be back on the air soon, let's have a look at the photographs that resolved the cliffhangers that occurred during Season 11. Is Severide going to come back as the squad lieutenant? There were no details available at the time regarding whether Taylor Kinney would return as a series regular from his leave of absence, and there was no assurance that Severide would return as the leader of Squad 3. The Season 11 finale concluded with Stella resolute in her determination to go and retrieve her husband after he had secretly decided against returning to Chicago. The good news is that preliminary images for Season 12 not only indicate that Severide will, in fact, be returning to the role of lieutenant, but they also reveal that he will be assisting Firehouse 51 in a situation that appears to be particularly dire. Greetings, Severide, and welcome back to the battle against fires in the Windy City. The fact that Taylor Kinney is returning to primetime is something that I am very happy about, but I am not sure what this means for Cruz since he took on a leadership role to fill in for Severide while he was absent. Will there be a death of Mouch? Mouch appeared to be bleeding out in a hospital at the conclusion of the 11th season finale, which took place in the spring of 2023. Herman yelled for assistance, but there was no assurance that Mouch would survive, let alone recover by the autumn in the following season. The writers' strike at the Writers Guild of America and the actors' strike at the Screen Actors Guild and the Writers Guild of America both caused Season 12 to be delayed until 2024. A further piece of information that surfaced in November was that Kara Kilmer and Alberto Rosend were both going to quit Fire in the upcoming season. Gallo, in contrast to Brett, did not have a predetermined exit strategy in the shape of a proposal from a person who resides in a different part of the country. Taking into consideration the fact that the image above depicts a firefighter who has suffered significant burns, I believe that the question of whether or not Mouch is going to die has been addressed, at least to a certain extent. After Rosend disclosed that he had made a choice that wasn't easy for him, the question that I am concerned about is whether or not Gallo is going to pass away. The injured firefighter who is being transported on the gurney does not resemble Christian Stolt in his role as Mouch or David Eigenberg in his role as Herman. The only character other than Gallo who could actually fit the bill is Cap, and Cap is not the one who is leaving the program. Did this picture provide a conclusive answer to the question of whether or not Mouch is going to pass away? Perhaps not, but I have a far more positive outlook on his future than I do on Gallo's outcome. Is there going to be a time jump of some kind? It is common for the premieres of new seasons of Chicago Fire to start up where the previous season's finale left off before making a significant leap forward, but I am not convinced that this will be possible in Season 12. After filming began in late November, the show will not return in September or October as it often does, which means that it will return in January. This is because the weather in the Windy City is expected to become colder than usual. It does not appear to be a viable choice to pick up where Season 11 left off, and the photo that is displayed above provides further evidence that a significant time jump will take place at some point during the first episode of the year 2024. If you look at the background of the picture, you will notice that there are some barren woods and snow-covered land. The foreground of the picture just shows squads Severide, engines Ritter, and trucks Carver gazing sad at what I have to presume is Brett and Violet loading the burned firefighter onto their ambulance. However, if you look at the background, you will see that there are certain things that are missing. This makes me more optimistic about Mouch being up and about by the end of the episode, presuming that he survives. However, it also gets me interested about what else we might have missed over the months that we were away from the show for an extended period of time. Will Brett consent to Casey's proposal? The life or death cliffhanger that occurred in the final episode of Season 11 was Mouch bleeding out, but the very last moment was really Casey proposing to Brett by kneeling down and making the proposal. After hearing that Cara Kilmer was departing the series, I had a difficult time envisioning a happily ever after for them. The episode ended before she replied him, and I had a hard time imagining a happy ending for them. Despite the fact that I am not yet fully on board the Brettsey ship, taking into consideration the photograph of Brett with Stella and Violet, it appears that she is not on board. In the event that you examine Brett in great detail, it seems as though he is wearing an engagement ring. For my part, I've been wondering how Chicago Fire would deal with all of the issues that led to the breakup of the couple in the first place. These issues arose from Casey's decision to move to Portland and Brett's desire to stay in Chicago, unless Jesse Spencer were to return. During the conclusion of Season 11, Brett, who had roots in Chicago, was in the process of adopting a newborn girl. On the other hand, Casey was required to remain in Oregon for a couple of more months. Despite the fact that I believe that a Brettsey happily ever after will be the way that Fire will bid farewell to Cara Kilmer, I will be a little disappointed if all of these difficulties were resolved off-screen during the time leap. Mouch is able to recover to perfect health off-screen, if you ask me, but I would be devastated if Fire did not demonstrate what it is that can make Brett and Casey work this time when they have not done so in the past. The premiere of the 12th season. Is it possible without Casey? And this brings me to a question that I have been asking and haven't stopped asking since the month of May. Is it possible for the beginning of Season 12 to take place without Jesse Spencer, given that he was a part of the cliffhanger that occurred in Season 11? After the surprising cameos of Monica Raymond as Dawson and Yuri Sardarov, as Otis after they left their roles as series regulars, I will never rule out the possibility of Spencer making a surprise appearance in the episode. It is true that there is no certainty that Spencer will not appear in the episode. Nevertheless, I can't help but have the feeling that the conclusion of the proposal cliffhanger will be less than satisfying if Casey isn't there to witness it. To put it into perspective, this is the one cliffhanger that could actually benefit from the necessity of a significant time leap. The fact that Jesse Spencer does not make an appearance in the premiere is not a problem because it would be simple to explain that Casey and Brett are going to continue their long-distance relationship until they finally get married. Furthermore, it has not been completely ruled out that he may appear as a guest star in the first episode of Season 12, just like he did in the photograph that was presented earlier, which was from Season 11. As a result of the time jump, I believe that the premiere can be successful without Casey. Nonetheless, I am probably not the only fan who wants that the aftermath of the proposal might be shown on television. It is fortunate that we do not have to wait too much longer before we are able to see all of the cliffhanger resolutions for ourselves beyond these prototype photographs. NBC will air the premiere of Season 12 of Chicago Fire on Wednesday, January 17, at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. This will take place between the launch of Season 9 of Chicago Med at 8 p.m. ET and the premiere of Season 11 of Chicago Police Department at 10 p.m. ET. If you have a Peacock Premium subscription, you will also have the ability to watch the final episode for yourself before it airs. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel and stay with us.